Uh, hey guys, very good evening. How are you all?
I'm good.
Super.
Fine. Good, sir.
So awesome. So let's make the session as interactive as possible, right? I know all of us speaking at the same time will be very difficult. So if you have any questions, or if you have any comments, or if you have any answers to the questions that I'm gonna ask, please put it on the chat. We'll look through that and we'll talk. Right? Sounds good. Give me a thumbs up. We can get started. All right then. All right, guys. Very good evening. So my name is Anirudh. I've been in the tech industry for almost 4.5 years now. So I started with a mid-sized company, and then it got acquired by a MNC from the US. And right now, I'm currently working at PayPal. So I am from a Tier 3 college. So there are lots of questions that come in when I decided to join into the tech force, right? So today I'm here to demystify all of that and help you guys gain a good pathway into breaking the tech industry careers and stuff like that, right? So that's where we'll get started. So as Vaibhav asked, right? So how many of you guys have actually heard about full stack, or so what do you think about full stack? So before all that, why do you think you guys need to learn about full stack? So what is the use? Have you ever like gone through all of that? Like what is it going to do to me? Like why is it important to the tech career? Why does everybody talk about it? Any ideas on what full stack is? Put it on the chat so that I can read through. Do you guys have access to the chat?
Yeah, Anirudh.
Okay then. Okay. Sujit has said it's front end plus back end and API. Yes, it is. That is a very good answer. Just a little bit more as well. We'll talk about what that is a little later. Full package needed by MNC that can handle back end and front end all. Yes, full stack basically does mean we are going to tackle different aspects of development. Very good. Okay, we need to learn. Jyoti has said we need to learn backend and frontend. Yes, that is true. Our front end, backend, version control, system design, very close. RF, very close. That is almost what we'll need to know. Yes, you're just missing out one particular portion. It's sort of like a little important, but that is okay. We'll learn about it right together. All right, so really cool answer, guys. So yes, all of you are all almost there. You full stack basically means any application that we build, right? So earlier, when computers were becoming a thing, there was this concept of applications that were running on our computer, right? It was not, the internet was not as popular, but today internet is. So people started looking at if we can connect our applications to internet, then the exchange of information will be much easier, right? So, and that is when we had a breakthrough in application development. People decided to move from computer native or desktop native applications to web based applications, right? So, and it became very popular very quickly. Almost all of the applications that you see today on the computer are web applications, around 90%, I would say, right? And there is a very good reason why they are, right? Cool. So we'll just go through the the so So what is Gammaprep? I think Vaibhav has given a very good introduction. So Gammaprep is a premier online education platform. We primarily make sure that the students who are involved with us are number one, job ready, or in whatever industry they're trying to crack. we definitely help them. Right now we are focusing on tech, and more is to come, right? So the idea here is we want industry people to get as close to as possible to people who actually want to join in, because there is a very big gap that is already present, right? And we want to make sure that we minimize the gap as much as possible. So especially with respect to the tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, right? Because the exposure to companies, the companies who come to their college are very less, and we want to make sure that this gap does not exist, and it becomes easier for these people to actually crack it, right? So that is exactly what we specialize in, right? Awesome. So here is a little bit about me. My name is Anirudh. I am from a Tier 3 college in South India. If you have heard about RMK institution, so that is like a Tier 3 college. So initially, I was working with another service-based company for a couple of years, and then I very recently, around 1 year back, I moved to PayPal. Right. So throughout this journey, I've gone through various tech stacks, starting from one stack that we are going to look through with this course, as well as I have gone through Python, primarily work with C Sharp, Java, and all of these various programming languages. So I have like very wide array of experience with respect to web and what it focuses on. All right. So as well as if you guys have heard about a coder named Atom, I was one of the early contributors and open source developers for that. And after that, I've been contributing to other open source organizations as well, right? And in my free time, I generally host tech talks, and I really love teaching people, right? So that is what a little bit about me. Cool. So this ultimate guide is to give you guys a pathway as to get inside the tech minds, right? So what does the tech industry expect out of people? So this one gives you an idea on where you get started, and later on how do you develop from that point, right? So once you breach this barrier of getting in, it becomes much easier, because all of the concepts that you learn throughout this course are going to be very traversal to other technologies as well, right? For example, if you learn about React here, the concepts that we are going to use, like virtual DOM, two-way binding, and all that, are going to be very similar to what you would see in React or Vue or Svelte or anything like that, right? So that is the idea, to be as language or a stack agnostic as possible, understand the concepts that are revolving behind each of these technologies, so that when you go to another technology, it's easier for you to scale up into that particular technology, right? And of course, I know that there is a lot of jargons going on here, but don't worry if you're absolute beginner who has not even touched programming. That is fine as well, because I'm going to teach you what exactly is programming, everything from scratch. So this is focused around not just people who have prior experience to coding, but also for people who are just starting out, who are just starting to learn. If you're probably in your early stages of your career, if you're trying to do a job switch, right, even you can benefit a lot from these courses, right? So here we are going to talk about a couple of technologies, especially in this presentation. I'm going to walk you through what you need to know to become like the ultimate full stack developer, right? So first, as a lot of you mentioned, there is front end. Front end is focused around HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then there are also front end frameworks like React, Angular, Svelte, Vue.js, and a lot of these things. So in this course, we are going to focus on React, because it's very beginner friendly, and it is much easier to get started with this, and then later on build upon this, right? So and then we have backend. Think of front end as a place where you interact with the system, and back end as where your front end interacts with the system, right? So back end would typically revolve around Node.js, Java, Spring, or any other web framework, right? So in this course, we're going to see Node.js and a web framework called Express. We're going to deep dive into it, understand the nuances around it, understand the nomenclature that is around it, right? So anywhere throughout, if you feel like you have any questions or doubts, please put your hands up, or stop me. But what I would recommend is understand everything, and then at the last we can talk about all of your questions and stuff like that, right? Cool. So the other side of things is, now that you have a system which does your business logic, you also need somewhere to store your data, right? So that is what we actually call databases. MongoDB is one of the database, and there are lots of other databases as well. We'll see what are the different types of databases that are there, and then we'll also deep dive into MongoDB, understand why we're using it, and what kind of DB should you use based on the the use case that you're trying to solve, right? Awesome. So, who is this course targeted towards, right? So, if you are someone who has literally no experience in programming, who has no technical background, you're probably not coming from a computer science or an IT background. This course is also for you because I've explained. We go through each of these chapters in depth, as well as we also talk about how somebody who's not in the tech industry should think of each of these concepts, right? If you're somebody who's passionate about programming, about web development, if you're fascinated about how how does Netflix work, how does Discord work, how does your Uber or Swiggy or Ola, all of these apps work, right? So if you're fascinated about all the tech that is revolving around it, this course is definitely for you. And what do you need to get started with this course? But if you're an experienced person as well, that we also talk in depth about each of these concepts that we look at. So if you want a refresher, you're moving jobs from one place to another, one company to another, or someone like that, this is also for you, right? So this is for absolute beginners, as well as people who have a little bit of experience, who can use this course as a refresher to go through all the content that you need to move forward to the next stage of your career, right? So what do you need to get started with this course? All you need is good internet connection, a laptop or a desktop, and then you would definitely need willingness and determination to learn, right? So if you look at development, if you look at software engineering, what we are going to look at is a very small subset of what could potentially be, right? But that does not mean that we are going to stop there. What we are going to do is, I'm going to teach you how to start with software development, and from there on, what is going to lead you is your passion, your willingness to learn, and your determination. Only these three things will definitely help you go to these amazing places that we see, right? Good. So, what are the opportunities for the full stack web developers, right? So, the opportunities and the demand for full stack is increasing very, very rapidly in India. Mainly, in these top companies where we see, so in the news we see a lot of layoffs happening, right? Be it Google, be it Amazon, be it Facebook, Meta, right now, right? So what does that signify? Does that mean that development jobs, software engineering jobs are like out? We are not going to have the tech boom happening, right? No, that is not the reason. So the reason why these are happening is because they are focusing from high cost location to low cost location. What this means is India is going to open up to become a tech hub in the future. So we are going to surpass China in terms of population, which means there is so much manpower and potential in India, which also means there is a lot more jobs that are going to open up here. So in the US, they pay 100,000 or 110,000 per annum, and here we would start the per annum CTC starts at 6 lakhs, and 6 lakhs is still a lot of money, right? So we started here, but the upper range is just beyond horizon, right? We see every day that IITNs and NITNs get these packages of 1 crore, 1.2 crore, but actually if you go inside these companies, you'll see a lot of third tier college people actually sitting in. They get very, very low attention, right? And the reason being is that it's not as fancy because all of these companies want their clients to think they have brilliant minds. But most definitely, tier 3 colleges are tier 3 students are people who put in a lot more effort than these people. I mean, no offense to anybody. I'm just saying that there is a lot of potential for you guys to more easily crack into these industries. That is what exactly I'm trying to say. So it is very it will become a very lucrative opportunity for you guys to easily get in going forward. A lot more opportunities will open up because people are now focusing on low cost locations like India, Mexico, Brazil, and all that. So this is the right time for us to get started, so that when the tech industry starts hiring again, we can be ready to get to go. All right. Cool. So the next thing that we'll be focusing on is the roadmap, right? So here I'm going to give you a roadmap as to what we are going to do in the next coming 6 months. So this 6 months, if you are going to sit down and focus on learning all of these in 6 months, you will be absolutely ready to start interviewing, right? But the idea here is, number one, you work every day, you put in the effort every day, you put in the time every day, and you focus on learning. What is more important is learning. Understanding concepts is key, because when you sit for an interview, right, what they expect is you understand the concept rather than the technology itself, right? uh, for example, if you're not strong with C++, that is okay. You can focus on another programming language that you're actually strong in. So a lot of companies right now are okay with you programming in Python for interviews. So Python is very easy to get started. JavaScript is very easy to get started, right? These languages are okay, and a lot of companies, a lot of top tech companies are okay with you being language agnostic, which means you focus on the concepts rather than the programming language itself, right? Cool. So with that assumption, let us get started with the roadmap. Number one, first month we are going to focus on very basic. What are browsers? What is the internet? What is HTML, CSS, JavaScript? What are the basics of this? What is layout? How do you look at a website in mobile? How do you look at it on the desktop? Different sizes of screens. How do we program for different sizes? How do you account for it, and all that, right? So the first week is going to be HTML, the basics, or common elements, syntax, structure, how should it be, how does your browser render, all of that, and a couple of exercises, hands-on exercises to get you guys started, right? So the second and third week, we're going to focus on CSS. We're going to focus on the basic selectors, properties, values, and then we're going to move on to layouts, responsive design. What are CSS preprocesses like SASS, LESS, and all that. So on the fourth week, we are going to look at JavaScript basics. So imagine JavaScript to be like the functional part, or let us, if you compare, all the three with your human anatomy, I would say HTML is like our bones, CSS is like our skin, which shows how we should look like, and JavaScript is like our brain, which tells us how we should act, right? So JavaScript is where you would write logic as to how each of these websites should function on whenever a user interacts with it, right? All right, so I'm actually going to stop here for questions. If you guys have any questions, post it on the chat. Okay, so we'll just go through questions. We have a couple. So I have one question. If I'm a beginner in coding, so is it right path to learn full stack, or should I learn other programming language? That's an excellent question. So if you're very new to coding, that is okay. So any interview you sit with, there are two aspects to it. Number one, an analytical programming round, and then you have uh, development round, right? So a lot of mid-tier companies, or like startup companies, what they look for is they want you to be strong with the analytic programming. Analytic programming basically means it's like solving problems. Let us say add two numbers, right? A program to add two numbers, right? That's a very simple example. But again, what it means is any programming of your choice, any language of your choice, it is okay to choose, right? So let us say you take JavaScript or Python. It is okay. Most of the companies are okay with being language agnostic if you are looking at an entry level job, right? But what they expect more is your ability to adapt and learn new things, and that is what I'm going to teach you in the course, to learn new programming stuff. That is what is your ultimate takeaway from this course, right? So to learn full stack, yes, it is good, because one of the rounds will most definitely be focused around web development and full stack development. So you definitely need to understand these concepts. And since you are working with JavaScript, you can use JavaScript for the earlier rounds. That is, like for example, your coding round where they ask you questions and you solve it, right? You can definitely do it through JavaScript as well, right? So hopefully I answered your question. So do we learn PHP and MySQL? Right. So I know this is a very controversial opinion, but PHP and MySQL are a little bit of an outdated technology. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the community around PHP has grown smaller and smaller, and people rarely use PHP. But the systems that are currently running on PHP are still running on PHP, but that is because they don't want to touch it, or the money that they have to spend on revamping it to the latest technology is less very high. But any latest company that they're going to work with, and if they're building something new, they will most definitely not look at PHP. They would be thinking about JavaScript or any other technology, right? So no, in this course we are not going to look at PHP because it is outdated, in my opinion. Definitely, that is my opinion. But a lot of amazing websites are still built using PHP. That is completely okay. But I just personally feel like it is outdated, and a lot of companies are moving against PHP. They're moving towards JavaScript, and that is what we'll focus on. And MySQL is a structured database. It is not beginner friendly, so we are not going to look at that in our course. Rather, we are going to focus on NoSQL databases like MongoDB, and that is what we'll be learning in this course. But the concepts that you learn will be traversable. We'll briefly talk about MySQL and structured databases as well. All right. So next we have Ranu Saha. Is this program for non-IT background? Yes, this is for non-IT background people as well. We are going to look at all the basic concepts and the foundation that you will need to understand everything that you need with your full stack web development journey. So, and then we have, what is the difference between full stack and one stack? That's an amazing question. So, full stack basically means any framework, any technology. It just means a very common terminology which is not focusing on any particular technology, right? One stack is basically the same thing where you just have one way of doing full stack is one stack. There is also a lot of different stacks. A lot of people use Java for the backend. A lot of people could use ASP.NET for the front end using Razor pages. So these are different technologies. Full stack basically just means a common word for all of these, right? It just means any backend, any front end, any database, and any provider or any cloud, right? So it is just agnostic. Agnostic basically means not choosing on anything, but rather being very open to everything. Right. Hopefully that answered this question. Who's eligible for course? If you're someone completely new, then yes, this is for you. If you're somebody who's trying to switch jobs, so you want a refresher of stuff that you want to know or you want to learn, this is also for you. Right. So there is not absolute eligibility for this course. Anybody can join. I'll always be there to guide you throughout. Every weekend we'll also have like 1 hour sessions to talk about this. Right. So difference between JavaScript and React. React is written in JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language. React is a library that is written on top of JavaScript. So you will still be writing JavaScript, but it will just look a little different than our normal vanilla JS. Vanilla means normal JavaScript, right? How much DSA is needed to become a developer, right? So it depends on which company you're targeting. So if you're looking at the fan set of industries, probably you'll need to do a lot. But if you're looking at startups, if you're looking at mid-tier companies, probably not so much. So first 1 or 2 rounds would be DSA, and it won't be too hard, and then they'll start focusing on full stack. But if you're looking at fan companies or higher tier companies, then your first 3 rounds would be coding, and then we would have the full stack and the conceptual understanding of things, right? Okay. So thank you for answering my question. Actually, I'm confused to choose Oracle DBA or full stack. I'm not able to understand what to choose. My main concern is for placement. I can learn anything, but worried about placement. Will we get placed or not? Yeah. Okay. So I understand your concern, Jyoti. Thank you so much for putting this. So Oracle DBA course and the full stack web development course are two entirely different things. So Oracle DBA, that is an entirely different role, and full stack is an entirely different role, right? So in Oracle DBA, you are a database administrator. You would be primarily working on handling databases, handling how systems are interacting with databases. You will definitely not be focusing on server or front end. No such thing. Only databases. How do I properly set them up? How do I make them useful? On the full stack on the other hand, will focus on everything end to end, front end, back end, and database as well, right? So if you look at the scope, full stack has way more scope than Oracle DBA, but Oracle DBA is a very specialized course. It means you'll be focusing on the Oracle database, and it is also very widely popular. But full stack web development course is focused more towards people who want to just join the industry. So they you can get into a front end developer or a back end developer. So the scope of full stack is much more than Oracle DBA course, right? After completing the score, can they give us jobs? So we would give you referrals to interviews. Again, you have to learn, understand all of these technologies. You have to attend interviews, and you would get placed, right? So the idea here is we would help you as much as we can, but again, we cannot like ensure jobs. We can ensure that you will get interviews and place as much as possible. We'll help you as much as possible to get you placed. Yes. Okay. Is there a program for 3 year education gap student 2022 passed out but education gap of 3 years? So this course does not really think about is there an education gap and no such thing, right? So there are various reasons why you might have taken a education gap, and everybody's reason is personal. So of course, in the interview, if this comes up, you would want to say something like, I had some personal issues going on, so I fixed it, and then right now I'm really energized or happy to learn, get back into the work culture and stuff like that. So so we personally, we do not really, or most of the companies do not really mind that you have a gap. What we would want to know is that why that gap came, and you are ready to join back into the workforce. So that is all we care about. Is crack to crack any interview, should I learn DSA? Is it important or not? Yes, DSA is important, and based on, so this course does not have a lot of DSA going on, but based on popular demand, we are thinking about adding DSA also as a part of this course. So we also have a separate course fully dedicated for DSA, but we can, based on popular demand, we can start conducting classes on the weekends along with this course for DSA as well, right? So, Nishu Shah. So I know there are a lot more questions coming up, guys. So we'll just continue with our slides, and I'll continue answering your questions again. All right. Cool. So getting back into the roadmap, we are going to look at the second month. The second month is advanced JavaScript. We are going to look at functions, objects, and DOM manipulation. These are a little bit advanced concepts because they have a lot more inner. We have to understand a lot more inner working of how the JavaScript engine itself works and stuff like that. We're gonna look at all of that. Don't worry, I'll always be there to help you guys understand what it means. So the ne- the next part is CSS frameworks. So we saw what CSS is. CSS frameworks help us build CSS much faster. They have predetermined styles. Most of us are not really, really good with designing, but you might be if you are, good for you. But for someone like me, I'm really not good with designing and stuff. For people like us, we can always use a framework like this to easily plug and easily work with websites and CSS, right? So this is second month. Third month we'll be fully focusing on React. React is a front-end library used to build UI and UXs. So the reason why we'll be needing React is native JavaScript can be a little harder to use. React makes a lot of a lot of commonly used functions available for us easily. We don't have to reinvent the entire wheel again and again. So I'll teach you what sort of differences that the original JavaScript has and React has, and how do we take maximum use of all of that in the course. right? So that is month 3. Month 4 should be primarily focusing on the backend. Now we are done with the front end. Front end had HTML, CSS, JavaScript along with React. Now we are going to focus on the backend. Fourth month is fully dedicated to the backend. We are going to focus on Node.js and Express. So we'll look at what is Node, why, what is Node, why should we use Node. Node is basically a runtime environment for JavaScript. Think of it as a compiler. I'll teach you what a compiler is, what is an interpreter, all in the course. But Node.js is a way to a way for the computer to read the code that we write, right? So we'll talk a little bit deeper into what those are. We'll talk about callbacks, modules, streams, and all that in that. And we'll also be building an application, a sample application with Express framework on Node. All right. So in the front end, we actually saw we were using React. Along with React, we'll also do a lot of hands-on exercises to deeper our understanding. And here in Node as well, we'll do a lot of exercises to deepen our understanding of things. All right. And then on the 5th month, we have MongoDB. MongoDB is a NoSQL database, as I mentioned earlier. So it is much easier for beginners, but also it's a very good database in terms of reliability. A lot of companies actually use MongoDB, right? So we'll also in the 5th month we'll also look at databases in general. What are the different databases? What is MySQL? What is Oracle? What is Postgres? All of that, and we'll be focusing on MongoDB. Right. And then the last month, we'll be focusing on deploying our application. What is deployment? So once you have built your application, that is once you've coded it, now you have to make it available for public, right? So once you've coded it, it's just there in your system. Now, how do we make it available to everybody on the internet? So that is what I'll teach you. I'll teach you about cloud. I'll teach you about networking and all that from scratch. And we'll be using something called render.com to very, very easily deploy our applications and let the internet access our applications. All right. We'll also be looking at what is DevOps, what is continuous integration and delivery, and how companies are using this and all that. Right. So this is the 6 month roadmap that we have, and the idea behind the roadmap is you can dedicate it 4 hours every single day, right? So if you are not able to do that, that is okay, but just that the time where you would finish the entire course will be prolonged. Okay. So again, depends on you. Some people can get it done faster. People can learn things much faster than me. So for people like you guys can probably finish the course much earlier, and depending on his schedule you can take this, right? So what we offer in this course is it's a combination of recorded content as well as live classes. So I'll be having live classes, doubt classes during the weekends based on demand. So if you guys have a particular topic that you guys don't understand, I can set up a class on the week. I will set up a class during the weekends to help you understand that concept a little better, as well as you have recorded content. You can go back and see it any number of times that you want. Also, I will be there, as well as our mentors like Amit and other people, Vaibhav and other people will also be available there for you to ask us questions, doubts. We'll always be there available through Slack channels. Any question that you have, any question that you post, we'll try to solve it or talk to you about it, get clear it out for you, right? And we'll also be there to guide you in terms of when you start sitting for placements, what should you prepare and all that. So we'll always be there to help you groom, as well as we'll start giving you referrals. So in talk on, so I would be giving you a referral to PayPal, and we have other mentors who are there in a lot of these top tech companies. We can also give you referrals. So what this will do is this will ensure that you would definitely get an interview, and we'll also make sure that we conduct mock interviews for you so that we know how prepared you are with getting ready for interviews and stuff like that, right? Awesome. So the last thing, which is very important, is a community of learners, right? So the idea here is that you're not the only one who would have problems, similar problems, right? With respect to learning. So if let us say, for example, you are stuck with an error, there are other people also who would probably be stuck with the same error and they've already solved it. You can talk to them, understand how they solved it, or you can also talk to them for referrals. They are already working, they got a job. You can learn how they got a job, how their resume look like, everything. So everything good comes through a very vibrant community of people who are helping each other out, right? So that is what Gammaprep offers you. All right. So, couple of questions that you might, have. Couple of common questions that you might have is: am I eligible for this course when I come from Tier 3 college? Yes, absolutely. We are not going to. The idea here is to help you guys bridge the gap between what is required by the tech industry and what the skills that you guys have, right? So that is whom we are focusing this course on. But also, if you are somebody who is already in the tech industry, then we can probably you would also benefit from this course by going using this as a refresher, right? So what are the past placements at? So in a couple of minutes, we'll Vibo can actually show you what these stats are, right? So, and then do you provide interview training? Yes, we do provide interview training for you guys. We will do mock interviews, we'll give you a referral so that it's much easier for you to understand how the interview will work. Is any past experience in coding required? Absolutely not. This is for beginners, so we will talk about what programming is, what JavaScript is, and we'll most likely use a lot of JavaScript throughout this course, right? All right, so that's it. I'm gonna open the I'm gonna open for discussion and QA, and after we have completed discussion, I think Vibo can show you guys the dashboard and all that, right? So where so we actually stopped with mm Nishu Shah, right? So, being a fresher, we are all worried that we'll be placed this year or not. No one is talking about freshers. All want experienced candidate. Yes, this is a very rampant thing in the industry. So people want those who have already have experience, right? So how could you equip yourselves? Number one, do as much internships as possible, right? So that is how you get more exposure towards how the industry works. What are the people what are the expectations for people, how do they think about freshers and all these kind of ideas you get. And when you sit for your actual interview, you already have experience, so it's good for your resume, right? Number one. Number two, but how do we find these internships, right? So don't worry, we are here to help you guys find internships as well. So we have tie-ups with a couple of companies, so we'll try to talk to them for internships. So you guys once you guys finish these courses and mock interviews, once you are ready, you will get interviews for internships as well. So don't worry about it. This course is towards freshers. So once you exhibit to people that have knowledge and you have worked on your, you show a couple of demos to people, they are more than happy to give you a job, right? So don't worry about all that. We'll get to it. Right. Next one. If you want to become a full stack developer, do you need DSA? A certain amount of DSA is required, as I mentioned earlier. So you so the DSA part is to understand that you also have the ability to think outside the box, or you can solve problems and stuff like that. So yes, that is required, but don't worry. We'll also the course will definitely help you along that lines as well. If the same work is done, why are there so different frameworks like React, Angular, Vue? Should a full stack developer know all the three? This is a very, very interesting question, right? This is a very good question, Ayush. So the reason why we have different stacks is because different stacks focus on different types of applications, right? Say, for example, if you are building something smaller and maintainable, you start with React, and React is very open-ended. By that, what I mean is it does not have strong opinions. It does not tell you that, hey, this is how you're supposed to do something, right? But Angular is not like that. Angular is very opinionated, and it tells you this is exactly how you should do it, because React is a library and Angular is a framework. So the key difference is that gives you the control as to how you want to do things. Angular does not do that. So the reason why is because Angular, makes building large scale systems much easier. But if you are building it with React, if you are not really careful, it can get much complex. So similarly, Vue also has its own use. views focused around building more SEO compliant, applications. So each of these frameworks have their own use cases. So based on your use case, based on what you know, it would be easier for you to choose, right? So that is the reason why there are multiple, frameworks and libraries and all these confusions. But really good question, guys. So in this course, do we learn Python or Django? No, you don't learn Python. We are going to focus on Java and JavaScript. The reason why is because Python, the application of Python itself and the usage of Python is very rare in web. I'm not going to say it's non-existent, but very rare. What is more widely used is JavaScript. So you have a much better chance at the interview if you know JavaScript than Python. So that is why we're going with JavaScript. In this layoff time, most of the companies fire their employees. So how will Gammaprep help me to provide placements? Good question. So yes, a lot of companies are firing people, but if you look at whom they're firing, most of these firing is happening around the US or a high cost location, as I mentioned earlier. Low cost locations are okay; they are not like very bad. And since they're firing high cost locations, more opportunities and jobs will open up in low cost locations like India, Brazil, Mexico. So we already have a lot of alumni working at these companies. We will try to number one, give you mock interviews to prepare you for it, help you build your resume, and give you the skills that you need to sit for interviews. Number two, give you referrals from these companies, so you can easily get, like, right. We cover backend. Yes, we cover backend. After completing this course, can we give us job opportunities? Please replicate. Yes, we will give you job referrals. Along using this referrals, you will get interviews from top tech jobs. So the idea here is that if people who are working inside the company can give you referrals, you are much more likely to even get an interview or be even hired for that sake, right? So that is the idea. Yes. I completed BCA in 2016, was running family business and working as a freelance digital marketer. But I have no working experience on corporate company at all. That is okay. This course is not focused around, for people who are already working at corporate. This is for people who want to join the corporate life, a lot of people say, be your one boss and all. That's really good, but again, at the end of the day, it is much easier if you know that you have a secure job and it pays your bills, right? So don't worry, this will help you get inside the corporate lifestyle and understand all the benefits and all that, right? So, how much time I have to give per day as a beginner to get a 4 LPA job in full stack? So that's an interesting question. So how much time totally depends on how much time, when you want to start interviewing. If you want to interview in 9 months, then probably you can spend only 3 hours or 2 hours and get away with it. But if you want to start interviewing much earlier, then you have to put in much longer time every day. Right. To learn only Python will get placed PR, not as Python developer. Not really understanding what you're asking for, but what I understand is, uh, I'm not really sure what PR is, but if you learn only Python, that is definitely not enough because that is just a programming language. You also need to either know web side of things or data side of things because Python is most extensively used for data mining, data analytics, and AI and all these. So if you are good in that side, you can definitely get in using Python, right? But we are not going to focus on Python. We are going to focus on our JavaScript, which will get you a job. I know CSS, HTML, JavaScript, React Basic. Can I get a good job after joining this course? Yes. So the idea here is that you strengthen your understanding going forward. Also, you learn what backend is. You work with a lot of backend. You also work with databases. You work with cloud deployment, so you know end to end of everything. Now, it is much more lucrative for the company to give you a job because they don't have to train you in all of these areas, right? So you're a much better candidate than anybody who just knows HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, as well as we'll help you groom with mock interviews, the resume preparation, all that, and referral and all that. Right. Cool. From full stack to you, how much salary we can get? All right. So yeah, as I mentioned, if you are a full stack engineer, the salary can start at 6 LPA and it can really go very very high. We see a lot of people getting in crores, right, in an ID and ID. So definitely that is possible as well, but depends on what kind of understanding you have of each of these concepts, and how much you practice. All of that is what is going to matter at the end of the day. So this course is only in English. Yes, right now this is only in English, but we are thinking of doing it in native languages as well. So going forward, it is possible we can do it in also again depends on the demand. We can also do it in Hindi and other languages based on demand. Do we get ebooks? So you get resources to ebooks. So you get resource links. You also get ebooks. Yes, we can provide ebooks. So all of these, but again, my thinking is you would most definitely not need ebooks, because this focus is focused around doing hands-on, getting hands-on knowledge. Because I truly believe that more you actually do something, the more you remember it. It's really not amazing if you just memorize all of that, because that is not what an interviewer is looking for. He wants you to have actual hands-on experience in creating something valuable. So that is what is the focus for us around this course, right? So, how much the cost of this course? You can definitely find the cost of this course in the Gammaprep website. So, after this webinar, at the end of this webinar, you will get a discount coupon as well. So, you can definitely use that to join this course as well. In this layoff time, most of the companies fire employees. Okay, so I think I answered that question again. You will provide only internship or job. We will give you referral for both. We'll give you internship referral, and we'll give you a job referral. What that means is we'll get you interviews for both. And again, it depends on how much understanding you have on things, how much you are ready to put in the practice and effort and time. If you are doing that, you can probably even get a job at a very earlier stage. Right? Currently, I'm working in a field not in IT. So, will we face any problem to crack interview and get good package? Absolutely not. So, the idea here is to help you guys get inside the IT sector, right? So, don't worry about it. We cover backend. Yes, we do cover backend. I do
Hi,
not
Anirudh.
know. Hi, who's this?
How, yeah, Suvarna here. How many
Hi,
referral
Swan.
you are going to provide it?
I'm sorry. What is that?
How many referrals you are going to provide?
As long as you get a job, we will continue providing reference.
If you want, if we get selected in one company, but we are not satisfied, then can we go further for the referrals again?
Yes, yes, you can. Definitely, you can. No problem. But
And these
one
sessions are by you or any other faculty
There are a lot of people here at Gammaprep. So I personally work at PayPal, but there are other people who work at Google, Oracle, and a lot of top tech companies like this. So you will get referrals from all of us. So there is going to be a Slack channel. Don't worry about it. Once you have been added to the Slack channel, and once you're ready for interviews, there they start applying your resume to these companies. Don't worry, we'll brief you on everything, how we are going to do it, how the resume, how the referral is going to work. Everything will happen, so don't worry about it. All right. So we'll look at it once you've joined the course and once you're ready for interviews. All right. Thank you,
yeah,
Swarna.
and
Any
the
more questions?
which is recorded content which you are going to provide it, that recorded session are by you or any other
It is by me. It is by me.
whole sessions.
Yes, all the sessions are by me. So even on the weekends, so let us say you go through the content and you have like any questions, right? In the weekends, I'll be taking live doubt sessions, so you can directly ask me. So it's not going to be like somebody else is going to look at my content and teach you. No, I'm going to be there to tell you what I meant in my content, so that it's much easier for us to communicate, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir. Uh, all right. So, Rit, Ritke, Rit. I don't know more English language, but I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, but I don't know backend. Don't worry, we'll teach you. So I know it might be difficult for non-English native speakers to understand about this. So don't worry about it. A lot of times we will actually do a theory class where I will show you practically how things are working. Through a PPT or something like that. So there is going to be visual, input. So you can look at those images and try and understand what is going on, right? Okay, 100% placement guarantee. So yeah, this is a little bit of a trick thing. So the idea here is, yes, we would be very happy if you're placed, and we will try our best to get you placed. So yes, already enrolled. See you from 30th. Thank you, Anshul. See you in the 30th as well. So I don't know more English, so this course can be bilingual. Right. So that's a very good suggestion. So yes, I'll try to speak more in your language going forward. I'll try as much as possible, right? But we'll definitely think about doing this entire course, redo the entire course in Hindi or other language, regional language, based on the demand that we get. There are lots of learning platforms available, so why I have to join this course? Please explain. Right. So the idea here is, number one, you get really good mentor support. Number two, you get 24/7 support from your TAs and mentors. You get a lot of hands-on experience. We help you get jobs. We make sure that you're interview ready. We help you prepare your resume. We give you reference, and there's an amazing community that is out there, where you can interact with each other. So your classmates are going to be learning along with you. So if you have any questions, you can post it to them. They can also learn through whatever problems that you face, right? So that is what is provided by our platform. In English language, how can student without coding knowledge get a job, because coding is difficult to learn in Hindi, also, but your course is in English. You say DSA is important for interview, but your course has no DSA training. Yes, this is a very good question. So DSA is important, but this course does not focus on DSA, and the reason why is because if this course had DSA and web development, the completion of this course alone would take you very long time, right? Because DSA is a very wide subject, you would probably need to focus on another 6 months. So if you're just and number one, number two, not every company that you're going to sit is going to focus on DSA, right? There are companies which are going to be okay with only full stack if you know full stack in depth, right? Three, DSA is to ensure that you have a very good understanding of the knowledge. That is what they focus on. So DSA is number one, to understand. The companies want to understand that with using DSA, they want to understand that you have analytical thinking, that you have a very good mastery of the language, that you are able to actually solve problems in the given time frame, right? So very big companies, that is fan companies, they want to make sure that these three are qualities of all the engineers that are there. But startup companies, who are startup and mid-tier companies, do not focus much on this, and the reason why is because they just want to get things done. They don't really focus on uh, you know uh, uh, problem solving as much as the fan focuses on, right? So your target after this course is startup companies and mid-tier companies, right? And even a lot of people think that when I say startup, it's like not going to pay as much, or mid-tier is not going to pay as much, right? I'll tell you something. Razor Pay is still a startup, and they are primarily the payment gateway for a lot of companies today, right? And they are Indian startup. Postman is still a startup, right? I know a lot of you might not really understand what a postman is, but in the tech industry, Postman is very popular, and in this course we'll see what Postman is, right? So a lot of great companies are still a startup. They are called unicorn companies because they have reached 1 billion evaluation, like Paytm and all that. But still, they are running in startup mode, right? So that those companies will be your focus after this course. But if you're also doing DSA, then you can target fan companies. And again, based on popular demand, we can start doing DSA classes along with this course as well. Like we'll have 1 hour sessions on the weekends. In this 1 hour session, we can also focus on DSA, right? And so that is the idea. Thank you for asking this question, Ritik. So, Suvojit, is there any assignments given by you weekly on daily basis? Yes, the course contains a lot of this course contains a lot of assignments, not just daily but also weekly. So every weekend we'll also evaluate your assignment so that we can tell you where you can improve, what you can improve, and there is courses, there is projects, there is assignments. Everything is included within this course, right? So, Jyoti, if you are not pro in communication, so will you get placed? will we get placed? So yes, you can get placed even if you are not a professional in English communication. That is okay. That is completely okay. Not everybody is, everybody can be at that level of communication. That is okay. But the idea here is that as you move along, it is always better to improve your communication in English. Mainly because the jobs that pay a lot, right, in tech are US based companies, and those people only talk in English, right? So it is really good if you can
Is lecture
talk.
time?
Sorry.
What is lecture time? Morning, yeah, evening.
So it depends on the availability. We have not yet decided. So based on your voting, so you guys will be added to a group, and then based on voting and after we fix a time based on your availability, we'll have that 1 hour doubt sessions on the weekends.
Okay, sir.
What is it? What are the timings of the course? All right, so this is a self-paced course, which means that uh, the content is already recorded, so you guys would can watch this content anytime that you're available. On the weekends we have live sessions. The live sessions, I'll be present during that set time. We'll mention the time to you earlier. It has not yet been discussed. The timing of the course on the weekend live session has not yet been confirmed. Once that is confirmed, I'll let you guys know. Once you're enrolled in this course, you'll get to know what time it is, and you guys can join. We'll also record the content so that you guys can later on look at that. All right, based that is again based on the requirement or the availability. Awesome. So, what is the min package after cracking average interview? All of these statistics, Viber will give you guys in a minute. He'll also show you how the dashboard looks and all that in a minute, right? So, uh, can you give a brief about data science course and placement after that? Right. So I think Vibo can handle that question as well. So any other questions with regard to this course, the timeline that we spoke about, anything at all, guys? Or we can pass on the extra questions to Vibo. All right then. Vibo, would you want to take over?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks, Anil. Thanks for the really informative session for all of us, actually. So yeah, I'll just, will show you the remaining things. Okay. So let me share my screen. Just a second. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's quickly see the placement report of 21-22 batch, okay? And then we'll see the dashboard, like what all things you're going to get in the recorded part, okay? And how your dashboard and other things will look like, okay? So this is a 21-22 placement report, and we have placement across all the good product-based companies. You can name it off, okay? Like the Shaw, Amazon, and even in the Microsoft also we had after 22 October. So we have not updated after October 22, okay? We have good placements in Zscaler and the other few companies as well. Okay, like Walmart, Jubilant Food, EY, Zoho, all these companies among, and then these other companies as well. Okay, so I'll give you quick stats about the students who were eligible for the placement in that report, around 892, and the number of students who got placed is 762. Right, so around 87% students got the placement, but still there are few students who didn't get the placement. Right, because what we provide from our end is the skill plus the opportunity, a short interview opportunities, right? But ultimately, student will be the one who is going to compile both the things and get the best out of it, right? Sometimes students are not able to, right? But that percentage is very low, right? So for that, we even have a full fee refund policy that you can see it on the website itself. Okay. Now, yeah, you can just go through it and yeah, so these are the referrals. We give assured referrals in good product based companies once you complete the 60 to 70% of the course. Like we all mentors plus the alumni network we are having currently, right? So we are able to provide referrals in all the good product based companies from our end. Okay. Having said that, I'll show you now first the dashboard. Okay, so if you see the dashboard, so once you enroll in the course, so you will get a dashboard which will look like this. Just a second. Let me open the dashboard. So yeah, it will have everything. This complete video sessions, the all the structure is being designed by Anirudh. Okay, and it will cover everything from end to end, from starting to end of the full stack development. It is going to cover everything, plus you are going to get the live classes. Now for the live classes, you will be added in a group like this. This is our past group, so you keep getting the class links for the for the live class. Then after that class, you'll get the recording as well. Okay, so this is how the live group will work. Plus you will have a doubt channel here, so that whenever you have any kind of doubt, you can ask doubt right there itself like this. And the mentors, the students, the rich student community will answer the questions there itself for you. Okay, so all those things will be there. And